When you think of camouflage, you probably think of the many patterns or methods used to make people and things more difficult to see. But in World War I, the British Royal Navy embraced an entirely different type of camouflage, one that made it even easier to see their ships. During World War I, one of the biggest threats to the Allied forces was the German U-boat, submarines which were able to approach Allied merchant vessels undetected before sending them to a watery grave. Over the course of World War I, over 15,000 people were killed by U-boats, and no one knew how to defend merchant ships against this devastating threat. No one except Norman Wilkinson. While others tried to disguise British ships with paint and canvas so they would blend into the ocean, Wilkinson proposed a revolutionary idea. Instead of trying to make the ships more difficult to see, make them more difficult to hit. To make his idea a reality, Wilkinson, a newspaper illustrator by trade, proposed covering the merchant vessels in high-contrast, irregular shapes. By breaking up the silhouette of the ships, this new camouflage, named Dazzle for its confusing patterns, was able to make it much more difficult for U-boat captains to determine a ship's location, speed, and direction. As later research would show, Wilkinson was using the same methods of camouflage found in zebras. Even though zebras themselves are quite easy to spot, individual zebras become almost invisible when they're part of a larger herd. Although this high-visibility camouflage seemed insane, models proved it could work. So with the approval of King George V and a slew of other high-ranking officers, the Royal Navy began painting all merchant vessels with this chaotic dazzle camouflage. And although historians argue about the effectiveness and dazzle in the real world, it was brought back to fend off U-boats once again in World War II. Though modern technologies make the use of dazzle camouflage relatively useless today, it lives on with ships like the HMS Tamar, which sports dazzle camouflage to commemorate the pattern's use in the First World War.